Hello everyone, welcome to Astro Life on Instagram. How's your Wednesday? Well, today is a very interesting day because we have a three set of quincunxes in the sky. So it may make you feel a little bit hectic and need to learn or adopt something. But don't worry, because today my good friend Alejo, Lopez and I will going to talk about quincunxes. And well, yeah, I just have a very crazy, busy weekend because last weekend we have the AOA conference, and which last weekend was the Chinese Mandarin part. All the talk would be either in Chinese Mandarin or translated into Chinese Mandarin. But the coming up weekend from the Friday, 1st December, and Saturday and Sunday, we have the English part. We totally have, 2 week, we have the 28 astrologer from, I think, is 17 different places around the world. And that is a little bit crazy. And no wonder this kind of quincunx need to adopt. Okay, so I think Alejo is say hello to me. So let me come. Let me double check. Here we are. Let me try it again. Alejo, be patient. We have quincunx. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, yes.
Yes, I think I was just talking about the weekend we work on. I mean, that is a little bit crazy because I have astrologer from all around the world, and
Come on, you work so much. Yeah.
well, no, I'm not the only one. You too, okay? You too, okay? We all have to working hard because we don't have a boss to hire us. We have to working for our own brain.
Yes.
So, but talking about these three set of quincunx with the moon, because yesterday was when I asked Alejo, what should we talk about? And I read it. Okay, I couldn't avoid that three set of quincunx together in the sky. Although it's at least fun, they don't form the so-called finger of God or something. But the three set is kind of you keep adjusting or something. That was so funny. Let me share a story with you because this morning I was prepared all the email for the speaker to from Latin America, from Japan, and everywhere. So I would check the time zone, and I say I must do it carefully, slowly, double check and triple check. Just don't want to mess up time zone. And yet I did it again.
Of course. But
again.
no, you're a human being. You're a human being.
And I did it with my very first email. And to which time zone? To the time zone I'm familiar most, the Taiwan and Hong Kong. I can't believe it. When Jupiter replied me, say, wait a minute, is that I should be talk at that time, right? I said, oh no, I'm really sorry. I was just like crazy, because that is exactly the quincunx at the just, and at the just.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it never ends, I guess.
Yeah. So let's talk about today's we have the three sets. So the first was the Sun in the 7 Sagittarius, and the
Yes.
quincunx with the Jupiter in 7 Taurus. So that is a 7 Sag to 7 Taurus, Sun, Jupiter. And another set is the Venus, quite interesting. Venus in 24 Libra, quincunx with a Neptune and 24 Pisces.
Yes.
That's another quincunx, and exact. And then luckily, while we are talking, the moon is just a little bit out. Just a little bit out. Yes, a 4°52 in Cancer, and I think it's a quincunx with
Mars. But she's a little bit out, but she's gonna go into the quincunx to the Sun.
Yeah.
So it's like she's there. Yes.
Yes. So how do we interpret the quincunx, basic?
So I would say the idea of a quincunx is that the planets are separated 150 degrees apart, right? This means they are not in the opposition. So in the opposition is 180 degrees, so you can see the planet right in front of you.
Yeah.
With the quincunx, it's like this gray area of your, of your panorama when you're looking forward, that is not right in front, it's not right on the right, it's like in somewhere there. So it becomes a little bit harder to spot, I would say. And this means also that the signs that are involved in the quincunx, they are very, very different. Because in the opposition, let's say you talked about the sun in Sagittarius. Let's say Jupiter was...
Let me share the chat. Go on.
What is... okay. You talk about... How do you do that? Wow.
I'm smart and I'm pretty...
You are smart. Yes. This is your skill developed after many quincunxes. So let's say the sun is at 7 Sagittarius, right? So and Jupiter is at 7 Taurus. To be an opposition, Jupiter should have to be at 7 degrees of Gemini, right? And Gemini and Sagittarius, okay, they don't share the element, it's fire and air, but they are of the same polarity, masculine, and they are of the same modality, mutability, right? But with the quincunx, nothing is shared. So between Sagittarius and Taurus, Taurus is a passive sign and Sagittarius is an active sign. Taurus is an earth sign and Sagittarius is a fire sign. And Taurus is a fixed sign and Sagittarius is a mutable sign. So there's no way to find an agreement. There's no common ground at all. And this means that we have to be constantly adjusting, which is kind of the key word for the quincunx, right? We have to be constantly adjusting between these two planets.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I think that is one thing we are adjust and we are adopting. Another word for quincunx is adopting. We are adjusting ourselves. We are adopting, but and that process, like you say earlier, it seems never end. It's always you just
never ends.
You always feel I need to do something to correct this. I need to do something to correct that. Even you think, have I done? No. You have to do it one more time. It's not just because you are not good enough. It's just like there's always tiny detail because you can't see. I mean, like you say, when you are opposition, you can see it. You can see your opponent. You can see your partner. But when it's in quincunx, it's like they are somehow out of your sight. So
exactly, they are out of your sight.
Yeah, so you keep trying to find it. I don't know. So it is very interesting. I mean, psychological astrology usually take the quincunx in a very interesting because there is a very, what should I say, tricky, interesting dynamic. And somehow
and I find sorry.
Go on.
I find that astrologers are usually taken by the quincunx. They love quincunxes. I see every time I have to teach quincunxes, people go like, in my chart I have. They're like, there's this sense of fascination with the quincunx. I don't know why.
Well, I think like you say first, like you say, the two signs, they don't have any common. So maybe in a friendly way, in the beginning, in a friendly way, you just like, curious, very peculiar or something. But eventually, you kind of, you annoying me so much. Why couldn't I get it on you? So there is a kind of things you want to say because you couldn't get it. You couldn't understand each other. With that, it's not polarity, not belong to same element, and not belong to, the same modality, and that is really sometimes can drive you crazy because you say, I don't understand. It's just like I don't understand, and then sometimes it is. I don't know. Sometimes like when I watch a movie, or people would say, I don't understand. I like to say that in French. Je ne comprends pas.
Yeah, I think also part of the fascination might be this configuration, the yod, the finger of fate. Of course, you put that and astrologers are like, wow,
like a God touch you,
exactly.
Like a E.T., like a thing like that.
Yeah, the finger of fate. So the finger of fate, or yod, it's like a sextile, two planets in sextile, and they're both quincunxing a third one. Today we don't really have it. We have Jupiter, the moon sextiling Jupiter, and Jupiter is quincunxing the sun. I mean, the moon will eventually quincunx the sun, so she's gonna create a yacht.
Let me show it here. Here we are.
You use different colors than the ones I use.
Well, just let me go to correct time zone. Let me go to correct. So this is what we're talking about.
Exactly. So the moon will quincunx the sun.
Yeah.
While she's gonna still be in sextile to Jupiter, so we're gonna have there a finger of fate, which means you are I feel the finger of fate means that you are called, you feel fated, you feel like there's no way out to bring these three planets together. And while the moon and Jupiter will be cooperating with each other because they're both in negative signs, the sun there is not so cooperative, right? So imagine like Jupiter in Taurus. Taurus and Cancer is like homey life and nutritious life, and then the sun is in Sagittarius and wants to go out for an adventure. Indeed. So how do we bring this together? But you are called to bring this together. If you have a finger of fate, a yacht, then the calling is to answer to this quest. And the universe will put you, every time you bring this sense of home with the moon in Cancer and the Jupiter in Taurus, this sense of home, we can imagine like a sense of belonging that has to do with finding meaningful connections with nature, stable connections, and also the idea of creating like an inner nest of protection. Every time you do that, something will call you to the adventure because you are fated. It's like the Hobbit, it's like Bilbo at home, and Gandalf shows up and it's like, come on, you gotta go, go. This is the adventure you're being called to.
Yeah, it is quite interesting because, like you say, when the finger of fate, when the finger of fate is a little bit even more tricky than one set of quincunx, because you going to face the two calling. Maybe with the one quincunx, maybe you are kind of because you can't see it, somehow you can pretend I hear you. I'm not listening to you. No, I see that this is a ghost. This is not scientific. I don't trust it. But then when the two calling happen at the same time, you're like, what? And then you're just like, it's like, why I couldn't avoid this? It's like kind of, no matter where you go, it tries to bring you to that point. And also, not only bring you to that point, but also with the quincunx, is with the way you don't understand, with the way you are not familiar with each other. And that is the fatal feeling. That is a fate feeling. The feeling of fate, because I don't want to be here, but why are you carrying me here? And I think that is like a difference between quincunx, a slightly different between quincunx and the finger of God or finger of fate. I know astrology and even my students are always fascinating about the finger of God, and they always want to interpret it like they have a mission or something. I was like, good luck.
Yeah, I guess we take our charts too seriously sometimes. It feels nice. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I feel quite interesting here. I want to share a little bit, but I mean, a little bit from Sue Tompkins, because I still always remember when I was curious about the quincunx. Somehow, Sue Tompkins related this set of quincunx with a little bit, with financial, or somehow with a little bit of like a health issue, because there is like an uncomfortable side, a little bit uncomfortable side, a little bit uneasy side. That's one part of it. And I can't remember who say, maybe Sue Tompkins again. She say, but quincunx in the relationship, if in the what we call the synastry, if there is a quincunx, not, you don't even have an aspect, you just have a two persons planet in a quincunx sign. That means in the sign they don't share any common, neither polarity, neither quality, and nor element. then these two planets will cause a interesting dynamic in this relationship, and it's cause a little bit like a, what do we say, like it's like a when cat meet a dog, you know, you're like kind of because I couldn't understand from you, you know.
I don't know if I can share personal stuff. My most important relationship, Taurus, my most important relationship was with Sagittarius, which are in quincunxes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Well.
And I would say it's interesting to try to see what is it that they have in common, because from the first approach, Taurus and Sagittarius, for instance, now we have the Jupiter in Taurus, the Sun in Sagittarius, they seem to have nothing in common. And you would say the same thing from Cancer and Sagittarius, right? Because modality, all of this. But when you think about the symbols, there is something, I think, between Taurus and Sagittarius, which is a keyword, which is abundance. Because Taurus has this idea, you know, of the earth, the nutritious earth, and the power of nature, that it doesn't stop, you know, the sense of wealth. And with the Sagittarius, you also have the sense of excess and abundance. It's like a very Sagittarian word. So I think, you know, it's interesting to try to find, okay, what is that could bring these two planets together. And when you think about Sagittarius and Cancer, I think there is something that they have in common, which is a bit, it's maybe more subtle to grasp. But, you know, Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, is exalted in Cancer because he's the great benefic, right? And Cancer is about protection. So there's something about, you know, the opportunities of Sagittarius, to try to think, you know, about these kind of opportunities that Sagittarius bring as a way of nurturing, as a way of nourishing. The idea that we're not nourished only by food, but also by our philosophies, by our intuition, by our visions. So I think there could be also a link there.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Before I share my another view of a quincunx, I want to remind our audience also, if you are a beginner astrologer or you are started learning the astrology, one thing I want to remind you is the two planets. That two planets is very important. That two planets. Alejo is like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
I thought you were going to say that we have a podcast for beginners.
Oh, yes. Okay, let me start again. Okay, for the beginner, I have information for you. Yes, Alejo and I, we create 10 minutes astrology, help the beginner astrologer learning the astrology. Each week, we will choose a topic. And for the last 2 years, right, Alejo?
Yes, almost 2 years now.
2 years, almost 2 years. We are beginning from the sign, from the sun, from moon, from the aspect, a little by little, and now we are deep, a little bit of, you know, talk about that, try to put everything together. But now we are talking about moon side, but a little bit in the whole chart view. So we will continue. Yeah. I hope so. I really hope we can continue because it is a fun, and then you know, it's also review for ourselves. It's also review the basic of astrology for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we always learn from each other. Okay, let me go back to what I was about to say is no matter what aspect, don't forget the two planets, they form the aspect, they bring you the major theme about this set of aspects. So for example, we are talking about the Sun and the Jupiter in Sun in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Taurus. So one thing never change, no matter Sun Jupiter square or Sun Jupiter quincunx or Sun Jupiter trine. The major theme is related to Sun's, maybe like a heroic journey.
Yes.
And then Jupiter's maybe philosophical journey, or the physical grand big journey, or my journey is like go to a country kingdom far away. So that's the major theme. And then the quincunx describe the dynamic of how this journey make you feel. But is a symbol, is 1,000 words. So it's not just a heroic journey, go to somewhere. You can interpret it with a lot of different themes. But this is quite important. So we have a Sun, Jupiter, and we have like a Venus, Neptune. Should we talk about it? Venus, Neptune.
I like this one, Venus, Neptune. Yeah. I think it's an interesting quincunx.
Why?
So, well, Venus is about about our relationships, what we find valuable, right? And what we find worth it. And Neptune is more about our imagination, our illusions, and also not just that, it's also the ability to transcend, to go to higher realms, right? So I think this quincunx is a little bit about trying to see, you know, having to accommodate what you really have in your relationships with your ideal relationship, you know, with the transcendent love, you know, because we all have this idea of real love or eternal love or almighty God, you know, God can prevail, love can solve everything. And all of these things, you know, are like unconditional love also. When you have, so I would say the theme about Venus, Neptune is the unconditional love. And when it's in a quincunx, it's about the difficulties, perhaps, the needing to constantly adjust. So if you have to constantly adjust, maybe it's not that unconditional, right? You have to constantly be kind of measuring, you know, what you give, what you take, whether you are getting enough, whether you feel you're getting what you deserve or not. So I think it's a very interesting quincunx. Also, you know, Neptune is in Pisces and Venus is in Libra. So it has to do with being able to unite, you know, the mind with the feelings, and how it's so hard to do that, how we need to kind of accommodate our idea of what love should be and our feeling of what we're actually feeling for the person that's next to us. And how to bring it together.
Let me share a personal story which happening from yesterday to today, because I was organizing this conference for our school, and then a elder lady from another country contact me and asked me, say, well, the first, she's not very techy, so, and also she don't want to, you know, she doesn't want to use the technical way to payment. And so and she also don't want to attend the whole conference. Ask me if I can first receive the payment from some other way, and second, only allow her attending 1 or 2 lecture and just charge her that money. So I was a little bit, oh my God, it's the last 3 days of my conference. What should I do? But in one way, it's like, you know what? I can just say, sorry, no. But in another way, I would feel so bad. I would feel really bad. I couldn't help. So I did reply the email to ask if there anything I can do. I explained why I couldn't, you know, do other thing than PayPal or something else. But eventually I still couldn't help. Because, you know, but then there is, I try, but I still feel guilty. And that is the
come on, you're too nice, Rod. I would have told her, come on, this is a conference. You either pay the whole thing or you don't. I would have been more Saturnian. Come on. Because, if everybody, I don't know how many people attended, but if everybody starts asking, I would like to just have this one, I would like to, no, come on. This is not, it's a conference. I'm mean. Everybody who's watching this, I'm mean.
No, you are
I'm not mean. I'm Saturnian. I think rules should be clear.
I am. I have to change it. No, I am. No, but I still just like, I feel sorry. Because I was like, oh my God. But anyway, I mean, I couldn't. So I just said, I'm really sorry if I couldn't.
I mean,
and that's it.
I
just
understand. Sorry, I understand to feel sorry that she couldn't pay. I understand to try to find out another way, find another way for her to pay. That I understand. But then to have, you know, her menu on what to see on the conference, that's not how a conference works.
So, but this is a Venus Neptune there. You know, you try to be nice, but you couldn't achieve that. Somehow you have to draw a line back like that. So sorry, this is the only thing I can do. This is the sad, but
I think
what should I?
This is a Saturn in Pisces theme. Okay. People are trying to erase the boundaries and and it's like, come on. It's of course it's important to be nice, but because if I put myself in your shoes, what you have done, this conference is amazing. You've done a conference of many days of different language in Chinese, having people translating things. You had both conferences, one in Chinese, one in English. It's a lot of work. So like I wouldn't dare to put you in more pressure, you know?
Oh, no, but people don't know, but it is fine. But it's quite interesting. And when I complain this to my manager, Evita, our dear Evita, You know what she say? Welcome to my world. She has to face client like this every day. So that, oh, this happened every day. Okay, fine. Anyway, but this is just an example to talk about the Venus, Neptune, about how you feel you trying to do something, but you still feel sorry, and even more you do, you feel even more sorry. I just like I feel quite interesting, but I wondering. This set of aspects are also related to, I mean, go back to mountain astrology. I'm really sorry. I'm a mountain astrologer. I couldn't ignore the aspect with what's happening now, because for this couple of days, we have a few good news. The first was like, I mean, the Palestine and Israel, they are ceasefire at this moment, and they exchange their hostage. Please just be understand each other, and then we have to learn coexist. This is what I'm thinking, because we all have a history to against each other. But if we want to coexist, even I don't know you, you don't know me, we have different history, we speak different language, we have different mindset, fine. If we want to coexist, we have to respect each other. We have to even we don't need to love each other, but we have to respect other people, have to live and let live. I think somehow there's a little bit of quincunx from one side.
I mean, there's this idea of the quincunx in the sense that the inability to see the other person, right? The idea that the other, not the other person, the other nation in this case, the other is completely strange and alien to me. It's completely different to me, and there seems to be no possibility of agreement. In that sense, I would say, yeah, it looks like a quincunx. I would say it's a little bit, usually the quincunx, when we interpret it, it's like a mild irritation. It's not so strong. So in that sense, I would say it's more like an opposition. But there is this sense of being unable to read. We could say it's an opposition. If the planet is at the end or the beginning of the sign, we could have an opposition between signs that are in quincunxes. So it might be something like that. It's an opposition, but in signs that are in quincunxes. So they really cannot see each other in some ways. They don't find a place of agreement. I once read this article about the word peace. So it was about these experts on Middle East and how to trying to find dialogue and ways of solution. And they said that the problem that the conflict persists, one of the reasons, of course, is much more complex than this. I'm going to sum up a whole paper in 2 sentences. But one of the ideas of the paper was that what each side of them understands as peace is completely different. So they can never negotiate to reach peace, because for one of them, peace means one thing, and for the other one means something entirely different. So it's very hard to start the negotiation.
True. So this is like when Venus and Neptune, they have a vision, and they both want a peace, but they have different idea of a peace, and they try to. They have. Quincunx is not easy aspect. Quincunx has to learn, and especially this idea about unconditional love, or we all love each other, is so difficult for even for me. Somehow, you remember I said sometimes it's like you say I'm mean. Well, sometimes you're a very nice guy, but when sometimes something annoying you, just like
Yes, and I would say also the idea of the quincunx is this idea that it's constant work. We will never get over. I guess with all of the aspects in the end, we're always trying to, you never get over your chart, right? But the idea of the quincunx is particularly focused on this, that it's always going to require some little of attention.
Definitely. And that is the quincunx is like, that's why it's so fascinating, and all the astrologer talk about it. Is a minor aspect. I want to do a little bit of advertising, because in our conference, Mandela Clay, another my friend and also the usual guest for the Astro Live on Instagram, will talk about the minor aspect in the relationship. So if you are beginner, this will be the one for you, okay? And then also is in the relationship. Okay, we have a question, so let me read it, all right? Oh, it's Terry. Hi, Terry, how are you? So do you think that this continuous work goes for all the minor aspects? Alejo, what do
So
you
the
think?
minor aspects are the semi-square, semi-sextile,
Yeah.
quincunx, and sesquiquadrate.
Yeah.
So I would say, in general, to be honest, I would say that in general, the continuous work is for the whole chart. We're
Yes.
continuously trying to integrate the whole chart, and there's not a moment of, I'm a young. I'm a psychologist with a Jungian approach, and I'm trained by Zurich, right? We have this idea of the how do you call it, the alchemical union, this idea of the conjunction, where all of the parts of your psyche gets integrated. Yeah, the sacred marriage, you become one and whole. The truth is, it's not like this happens in life and that's it. For the rest of your life, you're one. No, it's kind of a constant, at some point you're completely spread apart, and you work, and you feel the sense of union, but then there's going to be some situation that challenges you and you are spread apart again. So I think it's more like a dynamic thing. And I would say this thing for the chart. I would say that this is my opinion. Of course, it's not, don't take it written as a stone, okay? But I would say that we are constantly striving to integrate the different parts of a chart. There are points in which we do it more easily, and there are points in which we need to put more effort, more awareness. I would say that in general, perhaps the minor aspects, we are a little bit more unaware of them. So they surprise us, I think, a little bit. It's like the square, the opposition. We know we have these inner forces, the trines. We know we have. Sometimes we don't know we have these skills, but we still do them. But I think with the minor aspects, there's this sense of we're not paying attention to them, so they surprise us. But I guess we're not paying attention to them also because they're not so impactful. Maybe except the sesquiquadrate can be quite impactful, but.
Yes, I agree with you. 100% agree with you. The continuous work is, even I'm not a qualified or any psychologist, but I do agree. Maybe I learned from all the psychology, astrologer. I agree that whole chart is our continuous work. But the one thing interesting about the quincunx, or maybe sometimes semi-sextile, is that because they are represent things we couldn't see. Because these two aspects, the 30-degree and 150-degree quincunx, 30-degree of the semi-sextile, are usually the sign, like we say, they don't share the same polarity, modality, and element. So there is a question mark there, say, I don't get it. I don't understand it. In this case, somehow it's more curious and more maybe it makes you feel uncomfortable because you don't understand. I think some astrologer related to this a little bit with guilty. I don't know. There's a sense of guilty or sense of the unsatisfied. It's very complicated. I don't want to associate any psychological term to particular aspect, but it's a general feeling about not easy, and you have to try it again and again and again. But it's, I mean, so that's a kind of an interesting feeling about continuing. We constantly do it like a Sisyphus keep pushing the rock and falling over, pushing the rock and falling over.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I would say,
yeah. So it is quite. I mean, this set of aspects would be dominated for today and tomorrow. But I think Venus and Neptune will be there too, and the Sun with the Jupiter is the same for another one day. Moon with Mars, Moon and Sun will be also last one day. So that's okay. This is just I think maybe just a feeling for this couple days. Well, it's quite interesting, and for me, it's like, oh, this is normal because I'm so busy about doing everything for the conference. So for me, it's fine. I will keep making mistake. I was just shouting, say, "What's wrong with me?"
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
I don't think it's a quincunx. I think that's too much work, but yeah.
Well, thank you, Alejo. Before we finish today, you have anything want to
Okay, yes,
yeah.
I'm going to be giving a workshop on the
Ooh.
8th house. So it's not a workshop, it's a webinar.
Yeah.
Not this Saturday, the next Saturday. Now I don't know which day it is. It's a workshop on the 8th house. So because last year I did not last year, at the beginning of the year, I did a workshop on the 12th house.
Yeah.
And it was a success. Everybody was so interested
Yeah.
in it. So we decided to do a workshop on the 3, we call them sometimes water houses. I don't like that term. Hidden houses sometimes. The 4th, the 8th, and the 12th. So not this Saturday, the next one is going to be the workshop, the webinar on the 8th house, how to interpret planets in the house, what the 8th house means, and all of these things. And then in January, I think it's the webinar for the 4th house.
Wow.
So everything is at the Faculty of Astrological Studies. So if you're interested, the web page is astrology.org.uk.
Yeah.
And you have to go at the top to, I think it's events, and then you choose online seminars.
Okay. So it is very interesting because Alejo is going to have the 8th house, 4th house, I don't like call the water house, but this is very interesting because all these houses are very peculiar, and it's like there's a magic power. Sometimes some people think this is the karmic or fated. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I like to call them the hidden houses because they're all about hidden stuff. 12th, the 8th, and the 4th.
Yeah. Well, also, for me, that's my, that is my conference from the Friday, and from 2 p.m. UK time, I will start it with the astrocartography workshop. And then if you are interested in astrocartography, and I have a 2 hours workshop to help you understand the essence and the basic, a little bit advanced about astrocartography and how to work it. And then from 7:30 is our opening, and we have Sharon and I going to talk about the I think it's the indication. It's I mixed her two talk together now. Well, Sharon and I were talking about the in the traditional astrology. Oh my God! And then we have Jupiter live for Saturday and the Sunday. Well, the enroll close midnight tonight. Enrollment close midnight tonight. So if you haven't, sorry, going to try to must be.
Don't be like the woman who sends an email asking, "Can I please do?"
Well, I would just say, I'm so sorry. Close tonight. I couldn't do that. We are closed sharp by. Sorry about. Don't make me feel guilty like a Venus Queen.
Come on!
Right?
How can you feel guilty for that? Oh my God!
Don't do that. Yes. Okay. So, well, let me say the next week. We have a new guest. I think is our new astrologer from. I think it's Tom. Tom is like 9th house astrology or something. Oh, let me correct it later. I mean, I couldn't find his handle at this moment because I'm doing the podcast now. But on the 6th of December, 5 p.m., Tom will join us. And then also Terry, who just asked us a question. Terry will join us on the 13th of December. This is the other two new voice. I really want to,
wow, amazing.
Yeah, I think we all learn from each other, and then different people, different generation. We will have a different view. That how fascinating astrology could be, right? So the Wednesday 6th of December, we have Tom join us, and then 13th of December, we have Terry join us. So Terry, see you in 2 weeks' time. And then Alejo, thank you so much. Alejo work with me a lot. Every month we have the recording a lot of video, and then and now we do it for 2 years. I can't believe it. But I mean, it's a very satisfaction because the work we do together to help the beginner to learn astrology, I think is I mean, it's our job. It's our job to share this message out. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Alejo. Have a nice evening, and
thank you. You too.
See you next week. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.